Alright, so let's take a look at subtracting integers. So 5 minus 3, this has not changed since you were a little kid. 5 minus 3 is still 2. That has not changed, I promise. But what I do want you to understand is that 5 minus 3 is the same as 5 plus negative 3. Those are the same problem. So every single subtraction problem can be changed into an addition problem by changing the subtraction sign to a plus, but then you have to immediately change the sign of the number following the subtraction sign. So 5 minus 3 is the same thing as 5 plus negative 3. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Negative 5 minus negative 3. Now, according to what I just told you, every single subtraction problem can be changed into an addition problem by changing the sign of the subtraction to plus, but you have to change the sign of the number immediately following. So now this problem has turned into negative 5 plus 3, which is negative 2. Now negative 5 minus 3. So we've got negative 5 minus 3. This is the same thing as negative 5 plus negative 3. Both signs are negative. You keep that sign and add the numbers together. Now remember here, change those double negatives. So you've got plus plus right there. That would just be 5 plus 3, which is 8. So in every single one of these problems, they have different answers. 5 minus 3 is 2. Negative 5 minus negative 3 is negative 2. Negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8. And 5 minus negative 3 is positive 8. Okay, so let's take a look at 2 minus 8. According to what I just told you, 2 minus 8 can also be written as 2 plus negative 8. And the signs are different, so we're going to subtract our smaller number from our larger number, but keep the sign of the larger number. Okay, on the next one, we've got a double negative here. You always need to change those. So this turns into negative 3 plus 8. Signs are different. Subtract the smaller number from the larger. Keep the sign of the larger number. Okay, 13 minus 8. Don't be changing things around since first grade. We've been doing this since we were little. So 13 minus 8 is still 5. But now we have another way of looking at it. 13 minus 8 is the same thing as 13 plus negative 8. It's still 5. Just another way to write the problem. 13 plus negative 8 is the same thing that I just showed you right there. All right, 17 minus 9. 17 minus 9, it's still 8. Negative 17 plus negative 9 is negative 26. Signs are the same. Add the numbers together. Keep that sign. Nine minus negative 15. 9 minus negative 15. You have a double negative here, so make sure that you change those signs. That's the same thing as 9 plus 15, which is 24. And again, down here, 9 plus 15, 24. So 2 different ways to write the same problem. All right, -7 minus -4. Again, we have a double negative here, so -7 plus 4. Subtract the smaller number from the larger, keep the sign of the larger number. So -3 here. Same thing down on the second one. It's just written a little bit differently. So -7 plus 4 is -3. Okay, so now we're getting into some bigger numbers here, and this is really why we learn the shortcuts for these things. So -74 minus -58. So we have a double negative, so I need to do change. So I've got -74 plus 58. The signs are different, so I have to subtract the smaller number from the larger and keep the sign of the larger number. So this answer is -16. Okay, so now we're going to solve for x minus 4 when x equals 3. So I'm going to put 3 in where I see x. And what is 3 minus 4? It's -1. The next part, I'm going to let x equal -6. So I've got -6 minus 4. Remember, you can do change, so I would change that, but I have to change that sign. So now we have -6 plus -4, which is -10. Okay, so the temperature in Urbana, Illinois one morning was 11 degrees Fahrenheit. By mid-afternoon, the temperature had dropped to -9. What was the difference between the morning and the afternoon temperatures? So we've got 11 minus -9. Notice how you have a double negative here. So we're going to do change. 11 plus 9 is 20. So there's a 20-degree difference in Fahrenheit of the morning temperature and the afternoon temperature. Okay, Dinesh hiked from Mount Whitney, the highest point in California, to Death Valley, the lowest point. The elevation of Mount Whitney is 14,497 feet above sea level, so that's a positive number. The elevation of Death Valley is 282 feet below sea level, so that's a negative number. The question says, what is the difference in elevation between Mount Whitney and Death Valley? Difference means subtract. Remember, this right here is below sea level, so that's a negative number. So notice how you have a double negative here. Change. So 14,497 plus 282 is really what I'm adding here. So there is a difference of 14,779 feet between Mount Whitney and Death Valley. Okay, Leslie has $25 in her checking account. She writes a check for $8. What is the balance? So part A is what I'm doing first. What is the balance after she writes the check? So that's 25 minus 8, which is $17. So the answer to part A is $17. She writes a second check for $20. What is her balance now? And remember, we're not talking about fees or anything like that. Yeah, if you go overdrawn, your bank is going to charge you a fee. So 17 minus 20, she now has -$3 in her account. But Leslie's friend on part C told her that she lost her check for $10 that Leslie had given her for her birthday. What is the balance in her account now? So we've got -3 plus 10, which is +7.